The Rugby World Cup kicks off in New Zealand in less than 12 hours' time. The hosts and favourites take on Tonga tomorrow morning. England, winners 8 years ago, play Argentina on Saturday. Scotland are in the same group and face Romania. Wales have a tough match against South Africa on Sunday, and Ireland play the USA. I've been speaking to former England captain Lawrence Dallaglio for his take on the tournament. Dallaglio has been there and done it with the famous England team of 2003. He says the team of 2011 may just fall short.
I think a reasonable return for a World Cup experience for England would be the semi-final. I think if England were to progress any further than that, then I think they would have really played, incredibly well, and in my opinion would have overachieved really.
It looks like he's going to play Johnny Wilkinson from the start. Do you think that's right? Do you think it's a good call to put Wilkinson in there?
Well, if we talk about World Cups and pressure and experience, well, those three words, Johnny Wilkinson fits all of them.
Johnny Wilkinson, he's got it!
I think it's a great rugby story for Johnny Wilkinson, because he will always be remembered for kicking the winning drop goal. He certainly will in my family, and it was just a fantastic day for everyone in England.
So Scotland, same group as England. How far do you think they'll go?
I know Andy Robinson certainly will be disappointed if they don't finish at least runners-up in the group and go through to the quarter-final, for which they'll then face New Zealand All Blacks, I think.
And the Welsh, they've got a first game from hell in many ways, haven't they?
Toughest group by far, I think. Really is. You've got South Africa, which are probably the most physical team that anyone plays in international rugby. Then, just as the main course and the dessert, they've then got Fiji and Samoa. So I think it's going to be really tough for Wales.
So in what sense do you think New Zealand may be galvanised by the earthquake that happened?
If you remember in South Africa in '95, the way that South Africa used Nelson Mandela to really unite the country, and that translated itself into their performance on the field, and you can see similarities between that. New Zealand have had the terrible earthquakes in Christchurch, which has really united the country. New Zealand they'll just be a very powerful force, because every tackle that they make, the whole country will be behind them. Every line break they make, so it's going to take an incredibly good side to beat them.
Lawrence Dallaglio there speaking to me earlier. The Rugby World Cup is only on ITV. Tune in to New Zealand versus Tonga from 9:15 tomorrow morning, our time.
Well, on tomorrow's front pages, The Guardian says the army has been told more soldiers could be charged after the report into the death of Baha Musa. The so-called war on terrorism is the subject of an interview in The Mirror with the former Prime Minister Tony Blair, who says it is not over yet. And according to The Telegraph, the current Prime Minister wants a return to elitism in schools to try to mend Britain's broken society and secure its economic future.
And finally, a record-breaking charity swim along the length of the River Thames by Little Britain star David Walliams looked to be in trouble yesterday. He had picked up a river-borne stomach bug and all that entails. But today, feeling better, and after a hearty pub lunch, he was back in the swim. Martha Fairley was watching.
For a man suffering the effects of Thames tummy, it's an impressive performance. As he stopped for a break in Reading, David Walliams found himself in the middle of an unscripted comedy moment, the unexpected guest at a riverside wedding, and little sign of the illness that on Wednesday threatened to sink his charity swim efforts.